Hey you guys, so today I'm making a Patra Pulao, okay, and I'm using the canned Patra, which you can buy from any Indian shop. It's essentially colocasia leaves, um, made with flour and spices, and it's into a roll. So when I open this can, it'll be in a bit of a tube shape, and then I'll cut it into slices. But I'll show you how we do that. So I'm just going to use one can of this today. And what you're going to need to do is soak 1.5 cups of basmati long grain rice, which I've done. I've washed it 3 times and I'm soaking it now. It's been soaking for about an hour. And then inside my Instapot, because we're using the Instapot today, I have put in 3 tablespoons of oil. Okay, so we're going to heat up the oil and then we're going to saute our whole spices. What you will need is bay leaves, some chili, some whole chili if you have whole chili, which is right here. Okay, if you have it, if you like it, I'm just gonna use it for a bit for some flavor, and then I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna fish it out. Okay, and then we're gonna use the whole spices here. I'm gonna be putting in a teaspoon of each whole spice here: cumin, coriander, whole coriander. We'll be using about 7 or 8 peppercorns, just 3 or 4 of the cardamom, and then again about 5 or 6 of these. Okay, so we're not, oh, and we're going to be putting some cinnamon too. The only one we're not using from this spice tray is the mustard seeds. Okay, so we're going to wait for the oil to heat up, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, so you can see that the oil is hot. You can see the ripples in the oil. So we're going to go in with the bay leaves. Okay, and then we're going to go in with the chilies. And then the whole spices. 1 teaspoon of each one that I've already mentioned. I love that sizzling sound. A few cardamom, some cinnamon. That's it for the whole spices. So we're going to let this cook for a bit. Okay. And now in we're going to go with 1.5. Some onions. 1.5 onions finely sliced. Medium-sized onions, which I've already chopped. Okay. And we're gonna let the onions saute and become nice and become a bit brown. So not burnt, but not a light brown. Okay, because that's gonna give it the nice pulao flavor. So we're going to let this saute, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is the color of the onions that we need. And now I'm going to go in with 2 tomatoes chopped into little cubes, okay? Okay, tomatoes have gone in, and we're just going to cook the tomatoes very well so they become quite soft and form a really good paste, okay? Now is the time you want to remove the chilies, which is what I'm going to do, and you also want to take out the bay leaves. So I'm going to remove these, and then we go in with our ginger and garlic paste. We're going to be putting 2 teaspoons of ginger garlic paste. Okay, and so let it cook, ginger garlic paste. Take out the bay leaves and the chilies. Wait. Okay, so now this has been sauteed. You can see that the onions and the tomatoes have become a really good paste with the ginger garlic. So now we're going to add a bit of water. Just a little bit of water. We don't want it to burn. And then we're going to go in with our spices, because the key is to have the spices cook along as well. You don't want the spices to taste raw in any way at all. So I'm going to go in with 1 teaspoon of garam masala, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of haldi or turmeric, and of course we'll put half a teaspoon of paprika. And we're gonna let this cook in with our paste. Okay, and our next step will be to put the potatoes in. So it might be a good idea to peel your potatoes. I'm going to be putting in 2 medium-sized potatoes whilst this is cooking. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've added a little bit of water, half a cup of water in there, okay? So whilst that's in there, we're going to add our potatoes. And we'll cut the potatoes into some larger chunks rather than smaller. If you like them smaller, by all means, you can do that. But in a pulao, generally, they should be larger so that when they cook, you can see them. They're quite prominent in the pulao. So we're going to let the potatoes cook for a bit, actually, but not fully cooked. We don't want them to soften when we cook the rice. So we'll cook these for about 15 minutes, okay? And then I'll show you the next step. Okay guys, so this is the consistency that you want, okay? So I've been cooking the potatoes for about 15 minutes. I've had to add a little bit of water, and if you need to as well, do literally a tablespoon at a time to maintain the consistency, okay? What you need to also ensure is that nothing sticks to the bottom. Alright, so that's it. This is what you want it to look like. Now we're going to turn it off so that it's going to cool down slightly before we add our yogurt. Because now we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of yogurt. Once it cools down, we don't want to add it to any heat. I do want to highlight, make sure you don't add any salt as of yet. Okay, the salt will be the last step, but not right now. We'll put the salt in together with the rice. But for now, I've turned off the Instapot and we're going to let this cool down. And then I'll show you when we put the yogurt in. We'll be putting in the yogurt together with the patra, with the curried patra. I know there's some people that make this at home. I don't, but I haven't made it with the homemade ones. But this is the canned version that I use. But you might want to get this cut up now and your yogurt out.
It smells really good.
Thank you. All right, so the next step we're gonna do, so you've seen it's cooled down, the potatoes in there. We're gonna now put yogurt. We're gonna put 3 tablespoons of yogurt inside. 1, 2, and 3. Whoops. Okay, and we're gonna give that a really good stir, a bit of a good stir right there. And we're gonna add in the patra now, okay? We're gonna cut them into little cubes like this. Not cubes, sorry, into little pieces. And in we go. And then just fold it in gently. Okay, fold in very gently. Very gently, because you don't want the patra to fall apart. But you want them to be coated in the sauce. Alright, so that's that. Now we're gonna go in with the salt and the rice. To taste, I'm just gonna, for the moment, I'll put 2 teaspoons of salt in there. And we can always adjust it once it's cooked. Okay. Now we're gonna add the rice. And then for each cup of rice, we're gonna put in, so if you put 1 cup of rice, you're gonna put 1.5 cups of water. So here I have 1.5 cups of rice. So we're going to be putting in 3 cups of water. Okay, so this is our rice, and I said 3 cups of water, but that's because I'm adding a little bit more. We want the potatoes to cook. All right, so in we go with all of the rice. Okay, so that's done. In we go with the water, so that's 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups. stir this. Okay, and it looks amazing. And now we're gonna put it on our rice mode on the Instapot. Be sure to, we're gonna taste the salt actually, because I want to make sure that the salt is not lacking in any, but I also didn't want to oversalt it, so I think it's fine. Do you want to try some?
Yeah.
Okay. Here. It's another spoon. That's what I love these Calpol spoons for.
It tastes really good.
All right, so this goes on top. We want this nozzle at the back, okay, very back, so that it cooks properly. And then we're gonna go down and we're gonna do the rice mode, which is up here. Okay, and that's it. We're done. Okay, so the pulao is done, and you can see that the part where it shows it's on high pressure has released. So I want that to release so that way I know everything inside is cooked. And we're gonna open, and this is what the pulao looks like. Okay, so it looks amazing. It smells amazing. You can see every single grain of rice. And then I'm gonna plate it and try it and let you know what it tastes like.